What if I told you some Washington quarters are worth not just hundreds, not just thousands, but hundreds of thousands of dollars? Yes, a simple quarter could make you rich. In this video, we reveal the top 3 ultra-rare Washington quarters that could change your life. Don't blink, you might miss gold. What if I told you a coin in your pocket could be worth $58,000 or $83,000 or even as high as $111,000? Sounds crazy, right? But it's true. A regular-looking quarter from 1965, the kind most people use without thinking twice, could actually be one of the rarest and most valuable coins in America. These coins aren't made of gold or diamonds, they're just regular Washington quarters. But a special mistake at the U.S. Mint turned a few of them into treasures. And yes, one of them could be hiding in your coin jar right now. In 1965, something big changed with U.S. coins. Before that year, quarters were made with 90% silver. They looked shiny, heavy, and had a nice ring when dropped. But silver was getting too expensive, so the government decided to stop using it in coins. Instead, they started making quarters from a cheaper mix of copper and nickel. These new coins looked almost the same, but they weren't silver anymore. During this switch, a big mistake happened. Some silver blanks, the metal pieces used to make coins, were still left in the machines. So a few quarters that were stamped with the year 1965 were actually made with real silver. This wasn't supposed to happen. The mint thought all the silver had been cleared out. But somehow, a few silver blanks slipped through and were used to make new coins. These are called error coins, and they are very rare. Why are these coins so special? Because they're not supposed to exist. The U.S. Mint was very careful to stop using silver in 1965, so finding a quarter from that year made with silver is like finding a mistake in a book that no one noticed for years. Collectors love coins like this. They'll pay a lot of money to own one. And I mean a lot. One 1965 silver quarter sold at auction for over $7,000. Another one, in better shape, sold for $12,000. But the most exciting part? A top-quality 1965 silver quarter was once sold for a massive $83,875. And some experts believe if the coin is in perfect shape, it could be worth even more, up to $111,000. That's a life-changing amount of money from a 25-cent coin. Imagine finding one of these coins in your pocket. You'd go from spare change to 6 figures in seconds. Now, you might be asking, how do I know if I have one of these rare quarters? It's actually not too hard to check. The first thing to do is look at the edge of the coin. Normal 1965 quarters made from copper nickel have a brown stripe on the side. That's the copper core showing through. But a silver quarter will have a solid silver edge, with no copper color at all. Another way to check is to weigh the coin. A regular quarter made after 1965 weighs about 5.67 grams. But a silver quarter is heavier. It should weigh around 6.25 grams. You'll need a small digital scale to check this. They're cheap and easy to find online. If your coin is heavier than normal, it could be one of the rare silver ones. There's also the sound test. Silver coins make a higher ringing sound when dropped on a table. Clad coins, that's the copper nickel ones, make a duller thud. It's not perfect, but sometimes the sound alone can give you a clue. If you think your coin might be special, don't try to clean it or mess with it. That can lower the value. Instead, send it to a professional grading company like PCGS or NGC. They can check the coin and give it an official grade. This makes it easier to sell the coin later and helps prove that it's real. And here's the exciting part: the silver quarter isn't the only rare coin from 1965. That year was full of errors. Some quarters were struck on the wrong planchet, that means they were made on a piece of metal meant for a different coin. For example, a quarter struck on a dime planchet is smaller than normal and can sell for thousands of dollars. There are also double strike errors and off-center coins from that year that are worth good money too, so it's not just silver coins you should look out for. There are many different 1965 era coins that could be worth a lot. Now think about how many quarters you've seen in your life. Most people don't even look at the dates on their coins. They just spend them without a second thought. But if you take just a few minutes to check, you might find something incredible. These rare coins are still out there. Some are in coin jars, some in old collections, and some may still be in circulation, waiting for someone like you to find them. So the next time you get change from the store, take a closer look at that quarter. If it says 1965, check the edge, check the weight, and listen to the sound. You might be holding more than just 25 cents. You could be holding $58,000 or even $111,000. And even if you don't find one right away, this is a fun and exciting hobby to start. Coin hunting is like treasure hunting. You never know what you're going to find. It's easy, anyone can do it, and sometimes, the rewards are huge. If you enjoyed this story and want to learn more about rare coins, make sure to like this video, hit subscribe, and tap the bell so you don't miss the next one. I'll be sharing more amazing coins that could be hiding in your change, and who knows, the next rare coin jackpot could be yours. Have you ever thought that a regular quarter in your pocket could make you rich? It sounds like a dream, but it's true. A simple 1972 Washington quarter, the kind that's easy to overlook, could be worth a huge amount of money. I'm talking about real numbers here. $60,000, even $87,000, and in some cases up to $115,000 for just one coin. You might have spent one before without even knowing it. And right now, there could be one sitting in your coin jar, your wallet, or even rolling around under your car seat. Now you're probably wondering, why would a 1972 quarter be worth that much? Isn't it just 25 cents? Well, normally yes. But there are some rare quarters from that year that were made with mistakes, and in the coin world, those mistakes are called minting errors. These rare errors are what make some 1972 quarters so valuable. They're not like regular coins. They're special because they were made differently by accident. And when something rare like that shows up, collectors will pay big money for it. One of the most valuable types of 1972 quarter errors is called a double die. That happens when the design on the coin gets stamped more than once by mistake, but slightly off. This makes the letters or numbers look thicker or like they have a shadow behind them. If you look at the word Liberty, or In God We Trust, or even the date 1972, you might see this doubling. It's not just a small blur. In the rarest coins, the doubling is clear and easy to see without a microscope. That's the kind of coin that collectors dream about. In perfect shape, one of these 1972 double die quarters could sell for $60,000 or more. And if the coin is extra clean, shiny, and in what's called mint state condition, it might even sell for $87,000 or higher. Some people believe the rarest and best one could bring in up to $115,000 at auction. But that's not the only kind of valuable 1972 quarter. Some coins from that year were struck on the wrong kind of metal. This is called a wrong planchet error. That means the coin was made using a blank from another type of coin, like a dime or even a foreign coin. This can change the color, the weight, or the size of the quarter. If your 1972 quarter looks smaller than normal, or weighs less, or sounds different when dropped on a table, it could be one of those rare wrong planchet errors. These are also worth a lot of money, sometimes thousands of dollars, depending on how rare they are and what condition they're in. Another mistake that can happen is called an off-center strike. This means the coin was not lined up right when it was stamped. Part of the design ends up pushed to one side or missing. You can sometimes see a big blank area on the coin where the image didn't land. If the date 1972 is still showing, even a coin that struck way off-center can be worth thousands. Some people have found off-center quarters worth $2,000 to $5,000, and even more for dramatic errors in great condition. Now let's talk about how you can check if you have one of these rare 1972 quarters. First, look closely at the coin. Make sure it says 1972. That's the year you're looking for. Then check the front of the coin, especially the word Liberty and in God We Trust. If the letters look like they have shadows or look thicker than normal, you might have a double die. Use a magnifying glass or your phone's camera zoom to take a better look. If it still looks strange, don't ignore it. It could be worth something big. Next, look at the edge of the coin. A regular 1972 quarter should have a brownish stripe on the side because it's made of copper and nickel. If your coin has a solid silver-colored edge or no stripe at all, it might have been struck on the wrong metal. That's another sign you could have a valuable error coin. You should also weigh the coin if you can. A normal 1972 quarter weighs about 5.67 grams. If your coin is heavier or lighter, it might be a rare planchet error. Small digital scales are easy to find online and don't cost much. Also, check the design. Is it centered on the coin, or does it look pushed to one side? A clearly off-center coin with the date showing could be worth hundreds or even thousands. These coins are unusual and fun to find. Now if you think you found something special, don't clean the coin. Cleaning it can scratch the surface and make it worth less money. Instead, handle it gently and consider sending it to a grading company like PCGS or NGC. They can tell you if your coin is real, what kind of error it is, and how valuable it might be. They also seal the coin in a special case to protect it. Coins that are graded and certified by experts usually sell for much higher prices. The truth is, rare coins like this have been found by regular people. Someone once found a valuable coin in a roll of quarters from the bank. Another person found one in their dad's old coin jar. You never know where one of these hidden treasures might show up. And with values going as high as $60,000, $87,000, or even $115,000, it's definitely worth taking a closer look. So the next time you get change at the store or cash from the bank, don't just spend your quarters without thinking. Take a few seconds to check them. Look for 1972. Look for doubling, weird edges, strange colors, off-center designs, or anything that just doesn't look right. It only takes a minute, and it might change your life. Most people never check their change, so the chances of finding something rare are better than you think. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that looks like any other quarter. Same size, same color, same face of George Washington on the front. But what if that coin was not just 25 cents? What if it was worth $75,000, or $91,000, or maybe even $120,000? Sounds crazy, right? But this is not a joke. There are rare 1987 D Washington quarters out there, and some of them are worth more money than most people make in a year. And the most amazing part? You could find one in your change, your drawer, or in a roll of coins from the bank. These rare quarters are out there, and in this video, I'm going to tell you how to spot one, why they're worth so much, and what makes them so special. In 1987, the Denver Mint made millions of Washington quarters. Most of them are normal and worth just 25 cents. But a few of them came out with something called mint errors. These are small mistakes that happen during the coin-making process. The U.S. Mint works hard to avoid these, but sometimes an error slips through. And when it does, that coin becomes rare and valuable. One of the most famous and valuable errors is called a double die. This happens when the coin is stamped twice by accident, but not perfectly lined up. This creates a strange look, like the letters and numbers on the coin have a shadow or are slightly doubled. On a 1987 D quarter, you might see this in the word Liberty, the phrase "In God We Trust," or the date 1987. The doubling makes the letters look thicker or blurry, and if the error is strong and clear, the coin can be worth thousands. If the coin is clean and shiny, what collectors call mint state, it could be worth $75,000 or more. If it's nearly perfect, it might sell for $91,000. And if it's the best known example in the world, someone might pay $120,000 just to own it. That's not just rare, that's life-changing. But that's not the only kind of error that makes these quarters valuable. Some 1987 D quarters were struck on the wrong type of metal, which is called a wrong planchet error. That means the coin was made using the metal for another coin, like a dime or even a foreign coin. These coins might be smaller or thinner than a regular quarter. They might look silver instead of having the usual copper stripe on the edge. If you find a 1987 D quarter that looks or feels different, it could be one of these rare planchet errors. Some of these coins have sold for thousands of dollars. Another kind of error is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not placed right when it is stamped. The image ends up pushed to one side, and sometimes part of the design is missing. These are easy to spot because they look strange. If the date 1987 is still showing, the coin is even more valuable. Some off-center 1987 D quarters have sold for over $1,000 or even more, depending on how far off the design is. Now let's talk about how you can check if your 1987 D quarter is special. First, look at the date. You want a quarter from 1987 with the letter D under the date. That means it was made in Denver. Then check the letters Liberty and In God We Trust. Look closely. If they look thicker, blurry, or like they have shadows, you might have a double die. You can use your phone camera or a magnifying glass to get a better view. Next, flip the coin to see the back. Look at the words quarter dollar and United States of America. Sometimes the doubling appears on the back too. If it looks strange or doubled, that's a good sign. Then check the edge of the coin. A normal quarter has a copper stripe along the side. If your coin has no stripe or looks all silver, it could have been made on the wrong metal. You should weigh it. A normal quarter weighs about 5.67 grams. If it's lighter or heavier, that could mean it's an error coin. You can buy a small digital scale online for cheap to check this. Also look for coins that are not centered. If the picture or words look pushed to one side, and the coin looks uneven, that might be an off-center strike. Just make sure the date is still visible, because that helps increase the value. Now, if you think you found something rare, don't clean the coin. Cleaning can scratch it and lower the value. Handle it carefully, and keep it in a soft cloth or coin holder. The next step is to send it to a grading company like PCGS or NGC. They will check the coin, confirm if it's real, and give it a grade. This grade tells buyers what condition it's in, and helps you get the best price if you want to sell it. These companies also seal the coin in a clear case to protect it. Many collectors only buy coins that have been graded, and it helps prove your coin is the real deal. You might be thinking, what are the chances of finding a rare 1987 D quarter? The truth is, they are hard to find but not impossible. People have found rare coins in pocket change, rolls from the bank, at garage sales, or in old collections from family members. The coins are out there, and most people never look. But now that you know what to look for, you have a real chance. Coin collecting is a fun and easy hobby. You don't need to spend a lot of money to start. You just need to start looking at your change. And one day, you might find a coin worth $75,000, or $91,000, or maybe even $120,000. That's why so many people love coin hunting. You never know when you'll find a hidden treasure. So next time you get a quarter, don't just spend it. Look at it. Flip it. Check the date. Look for 1987 with AD under the number. Look at the letters. Look at the edge. Look for anything that seems strange. It might be nothing or it might be worth more than you ever imagined.